Good morning once again, and you are tuned to Ebona, the 103.5 FM. Today, the 18th day of February 2025. The time is 4 minutes past the hour of 9, and it's time for political assembly on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I remain the one and only Martin Efan Shuku AKC. Yes, political assembly is that time when we get to talk about our situation politically. We get to talk about the happenings in the corridors of power because, in one way or the other, all we are all connected to these happenings, and we need to talk about them because it affects you and me in one way or the other. One of the major happenings on our political space this morning is the fact that some school of thought are questioning the fact that some like the southeast governors are scared to confront the president Bola Ahmed Tinubu, about the unconditional release of Nnamdi Kanu. But you will recall that Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo have always asked for administrative release of Nnamdi Kanu towards to him. So when they say Southeast governors, you might want to exclude that. But we still have a lot of things to talk about. Even in the power sector, there is this issue of the Senate and Korean firm trying to look into the situation of like maybe coconut for mini grid solution. At the same time, the Nigerian police force, is setting up joint security force against sit at home in Anambra. You and I will have a lot to talk about this morning when it comes to the happenings in our political space, the happenings on the corridors of power. So let me bring you up to speed on the happenings. Now, the first story we have for you on this particular edition of Political Assembly on Ebona, the 103.5 FM is again, Wabara eulogizes Oti for outstanding performance, dares Abia PDP to expel him. Now, with the dust raised by his open admiration of Abia State Governor Alex Oti yet to settle, the chairman, Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party (PDP), Senator Adolphus Wabara, has again stirred the hornet's nest. Wabara was on February 11, 2025, suspended by the leadership of the Abia State Chapter PDP for appreciating the achievements of Oti and even endorsing him for a second term in office. Though the National Working Committee of PDP promptly dismissed the suspension order, the Abia PDP leadership has refused to budge. But on Sunday, Wabara for the first time publicly reacted to the sanction imposed on him, saying that nobody can gag him from commenting on the good things happening in his state, other states, since Oti came to power. The former Senate president spoke in Umuahia during the 80th anniversary celebration of a former secretary to the Abia state government, Dr. Emelike Okoro. He defiantly called the bluff of his state party leadership. Wabara doubled down on his praises of Oti, reminding everyone that he would not, because of party politics, not speak on his state. He said that he first became a citizen of Abia before becoming a politician and member of PDP or any other party he had belonged to. The PDP BOT chairman in Deviance told his detractors that I will be one of those who will continue to appreciate Governor Oti for giving Abia a new lease of life. I have not mentioned Labour Party. I have always mentioned Governor Oti. We are all with you, Wabara declared in the presence of the Abia governor who was at the event. Wabara, who was sacked as a pro-chancellor of the Abia State University, Uturu, by the then governor Okeze Bazo for speaking out against the zoning policy of Abia PDP, was in his usual devil-may-care frankness. He noted that as a citizen of Abia State, there was no reason he should be indifferent to the happenings in the state politics or no politics, adding that his party membership won't blindfold him from observing Oti's good works. The next story we have for you on this edition of Political Assembly on Ebon at the 103 of FFM is $23 billion refinery, biggest risk of my life, Dangote. Billionaire Aliko Dangote has described his $23 billion Dangote refinery project as the biggest risk of his life, acknowledging the challenges he faced in bringing the venture to fruition. In an exclusive interview with Forbes on Monday, Dangote opened up about the risk involved in such a massive undertaking. It was the biggest risk of my life. If this didn't work, I was dead, he said. Despite the refinery's groundbreaking capacity of 650,000 barrels per day and its status as Africa's largest, Dangote revealed that the journey to completion was fraught with uncertainties. Dangote also spoke about the hurdles he faced in financing the project, the regulatory challenges, and securing suppliers. Dangote said he is committed to providing a blueprint for industrialization across Africa. We have to build our own nation by ourselves. We have to build our own continent by ourselves, not rely on foreign investment. He added that Africa has been a mere dumping ground for finished products, and his refinery represents a pivotal step in ensuring that Africa has the capacity to refine its own crude oil, thereby creating wealth and prosperity for its vast population, he said. Undeterred by the challenges, Dangote is determined to ensure the success of his refinery. According to the Forbes report, despite establishing a family office in Dubai and involving his three daughters in various roles within the family business, his focus remains firmly on Nigeria. He continues to dedicate much of his time to the refinery, regularly meeting with engineers and managers to oversee progress. Dangote is also working on ambitious projects such as building a subsea pipeline to transport natural gas from the Niger Delta to Lagos and expanding the capacity of the refinery's fertilizer plant. Still on our political space this morning, the next story we have for you on this political assembly is Nigeria police set up joint security force against sit at home in Anambra. Anambra State Police Command has established a joint security force to address the Monday sit at home enforced by the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra IPOB in the state. The team comprised the military, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Department of State Services, Federal Road Safety Corps, and other security agencies. The State Police Public Relations Officer SP Tochukwu Kenga made this known in a statement on Monday in Oka. Recall that IPOB emplaced the sit at home in the five southeast states since 2021. Ikenga stated that the Commissioner of Police in Anambra, Ikoye Urutugu, had urged the police operatives and key security stakeholders to ensure continued security dominance, anti-crime, and sit-at-home patrol in the state. Urutugu urged the collective efforts of residents in condemning any act that threatens national peace and resolve to work together for the betterment of the state. The commissioner also assured the residents of improved and unified response to security challenges and public safety. Ikenga said. Still on our political space this morning, the next story we have for you on this political assembly on Ebona, the 103.5 FM is Rivers won't recognize pro-Wike lawmakers. Fubara tells National Assembly Kakos. Rivers State Government Rivers State Governor Similaye Fubara has insisted that his administration will not recognize the faction of the State House of Assembly led by Martin Amowele, despite mounting pressure from the Rivers National Assembly caucus. The caucus, during a solidarity visit to Amowele in Port Harcourt on Monday, urged Fubara to execute the Court of Appeal judgment that affirmed Amowele and 26 lawmakers as the only legitimate members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. In a statement signed by Kensile Chinda, Obiakpo Federal Constituency, Senator Barinda Mpigi, Rivers Southeast, and Dunameme Deko Gokana Federal Constituency, the lawmakers expressed dismay over what they called the governor's deliberate distortion of facts and court judgments. The statement accused Fubara of engaging senior advocates, including Femi Falana, to misrepresent judicial rulings. We wish to caution Mr. Femi Falana to stop misinterpreting court judgments. It is regrettable that a very senior lawyer of his status will be amplifying falsehood from non-lawyers and political merchants, the lawmakers said. They allege that Falana lied about the ruling of Justice J.K. Omotosho and the purported defection of the 27 lawmakers, which they claim never happened. Falana lied about the dates of the judgments of Justice J.K. Omotosho and the purported defection that never took place with the intention of misleading the public, the statement added. The caucus warned that failing to implement the judgment would amount to contempt of court. The judgment of Justice J.K. Omotosho, which was affirmed by the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, takes effect immediately and forever. Any attempt to deal with any other person or forum as the Rivers State House of Assembly is contentious of the judgment of the Supreme Court, they said. They further accused Fubara of interfering in legislative affairs and questioned the legitimacy of his recent appointment. All those parading themselves as commissioners, permanent secretaries, and civil servants are impostors as they have not been screened and confirmed by the Assembly, Speaker Amowole declared. He also warned that the governor's handling of state funds will soon come under scrutiny. The governor should know that we are not sleeping. We are aware of the hundreds of billions of taxpayers' monies that are missing today, that are not accounted for. A day of reckoning will come, he stated. However, in a swift reaction, Rivers State Commissioner for Information and Communications Joseph Johnson dismissed the lawmakers' claims as misleading. In a statement titled Setting the Records Straight on the Situation in Rivers, Johnson insisted that Amowole and his faction ceased to be lawmakers after defecting from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress on December 11, 2023. The judgment of Justice Omotosho, which was affirmed by the Court of Appeal, does not touch nor alter the status of Martin Amowole and his group of 27 as ex-members of the House of Assembly of Rivers State, Johnson said. He argued that their defection automatically resulted in the forfeiture of their seats. Right Honorable Martin Amowole and 26 others lost their seats in the Rivers State House of Assembly following their voluntary defection and cross-carpeting, which happened on the floor of the House of Assembly in the full glare of the public on December 11, 2023. Johnson further emphasized that Governor Fubara remained law-abiding and had no intention of recognizing individuals who are no longer hold legislative office. The Governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Sir Similaye Fubara, is both law-abiding and peace-loving, and accordingly has great respect for the court of law and Nigerian judiciary. The governor sworn on May 29, 2023, to defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the rule of law, which includes the respect for the court, Johnson stated. The next story we have for you says Soludo did not order arrest of women without underwear. Anambra government. The Anambra State government has denied reports that Governor Charles Soludo ordered the arrest of women who dressed half naked or walk around without underwear. A statement released on Monday by Christian Aburime, the chief press secretary to Governor Soludo, condemned the reports as untrue, mischievous, and an orchestrated story to mislead the public and tarnish the reputable image of the state. Aburime said that the Anambra government, under Governor Soludo's leadership, remains committed to protecting the fundamental human rights and dignity of the state's citizens. He noted that while the government encourages decency, it does not interfere with individuals or private issues related to dressing, as this is a right enshrined in the country's constitution. We urge the public to disregard this fake news and always verify information from official government channels before sharing, Aburime said. The government assured citizens that it will continue to focus on key issues such as security, human capital development, economic transformation, and urban regeneration rather than getting bogged down in pedestrian issues. Still on the happenings on our political space on this edition of a political assembly on Ebona, the 103.5 FM, but this one bordering on economy. Cardoso urges stronger economic ties with Middle East. Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, has canvassed stronger economic ties with the Middle East and the Nigerian diaspora community in the region. Speaking during a meeting with the Assistant Governor for Monetary Affairs, Saudi Arabian Central Bank, Talara Al Ghulmud, on the sideline of the just concluded inaugural conference on emerging markets economies organized by the Ministry of Finance, Saudi Arabia, and the International Monetary Fund regional office in Riyadh. Cardoso said there were lessons to be learned from Saudi Arabia in terms of infrastructural development and tourism, according to a statement that was issued by the Central Bank of Nigeria on Monday. Cardoso said Saudi Arabia's dedication to diversifying its economy through innovation, environmental projects, large scale transformation, and tourism investments is essential for development. Cardoso also reaffirmed his dedication to collaborating with the Nigerian diaspora community in the Middle East to improve remittance flows and strengthen Nigeria's financial sector. He stated that the Central Bank of Nigeria will continue enhancing macroeconomic fundamentals to establish an enabling environment that will facilitate the growth of the private sector and the generation of high quality jobs for Nigerians. Responding, Tarara Al Humud assured Cardoso that the Saudi Central Bank will work with the Central Bank of Nigeria to ensure the attainment of mutual beneficial objectives. Now, the next story we have for you on this particular edition of Political Assembly is new Lagos Speaker under pressure to resign as lawmakers protest DSS invasion. The Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Mojishola Merenda, is reportedly facing intense pressure to resign, with sources indicating that she may step down this Monday. The developments came after the operatives of the Department of State Services and other armed security personnel stormed the premises of the Assembly complex in Alausa Ikeja, a development which has heightened the tension in the state on Monday. Also, a popular TV anchor took to his X handle earlier on Monday morning to announce the political developments in Lagos State. Oki, who has his ears to Nigerian political ground, wrote resignation looms in Lagos. It is a matter of hours. Videos captured by our newsmen showed the embattled speaker, Miranda, in tears as members of the House chants Miranda, we want to protest the invasion of Assembly complex by armed security men. Miranda's fate has been uncertain since the return of impeached Speaker of the House, Mudashiru Obasa, to Nigeria. Obasa has continued to reject his removal, fueling discord within the assembly. There were strong indications that Obasa could return as a speaker, especially following reported intervention by President Bola Tinubu. The unfolding situation has created uncertainty within the Lagos State legislative body, with observers closely watching how events will unfold in the coming hours. Now, the last story we have for you this morning on this particular edition of Political Assembly, before you can get involved and tell us what you think of all of this, is power crisis. Senate, Korean firm explore coconut for mini grid solution. The Senate Committee on Power has begun a discussion with a South Korean energy firm, BK Energy, to explore mini grid solutions and alternative energy sources for power generation, including using coconut derived uh, graphene. This came against the backdrop of Nigeria's persistent national grid collapse and epileptic power supply. This was as Abuja Electricity Distribution Company assured electricity consumers in the Federal Capital Territory of full power supply from February 23, 2025. Abuja Electricity Distribution Company, in a statement on its X handle in Abuja yesterday, disclosed that the ongoing restoration efforts by the Transmission Company of Nigeria on the underground transmission line damaged by vandals near the Millennium Park will be completed by February 23rd. The company regretted the continued power supply disruption in Wuye, Utako, Jabi, Mabishi, and Katampe districts. Others are Life Camp, Wuse's Zone 1 to Zone 7, Wuse 2, Maitema, parts of the Central Business District and surrounding areas. During a meeting yesterday, the committee chairman, Engineer Abadibie Abia South, told the South Korean delegation that Nigeria's power sector remained stagnant around 4,000 megawatts due to outdated infrastructure and lack of transmission capacity to distribute additional power. Abaribie emphasized that Nigeria's biggest challenges was not power generation but the inability to transmit and distribute generated electricity efficiently. He said, our major concern is how to break the bond and bridge the yawning gap of insufficient power generation in the country. We want practical solutions, not just theories. But in response, PK Energy representatives Lee and Sangwo Park recommended a mini grid system to decentralize the power transmission and prevent national grid failures. Lee highlighted that South Korea, with a population of 50 million, generates 130,000 megawatts without relying solely on a single national grid. Decentralizing power generation and transmission will reduce energy waste and frequent grid collapses, he added. The South Korean experts also propose using coconut, which is abundant in Nigeria, to produce graphene for electricity generation. Like South Korea's model, coconut trees can be harnessed to build power plants in local communities, providing sustainable and decentralized energy solution, he stressed earlier. Chairman and CEO TUG Energy, Uso Udemba, who facilitated the meeting, urged Nigeria to embrace green hydro technology and move away from the outdated national grid model. Well, there you have it. A lot is happening, in our political space this morning, and we need to talk about the situation. Most especially, the issue of the collapse of the national grid, is affecting virtually everybody. So what should we do? As Nigerians, how do we go about this business? Now, the Senate is also looking into it to see if they will work out something with this particular firm from South Korea. So, at the same time, Wabara is having his issues with PDP because he praised the good works of Governor Abia State, Governor Alex Oti. But at the end, with everything that he's saying, he's trying to prove to PDP that he wants to woo the governor into PDP. He wants to get the governor to become a member of the PDP. He said with everything he's saying about the works of Governor Alex Oti, that he never mentioned the Labour Party, but he was just talking about the good works, the good things the governor is doing in his state. And before he became a politician, that he first became an Abia person before he became a politician. So he must talk about what is going on in Abia. At the same time, he all equally praised the work of Governor Peter Mba of Enugu State, saying that both Oti and Peter Mba have been, outstanding in their work. He went further to say that politics ends after campaign and elections. The governance begins. He said then immediately after the election, governance begins. Even a blind man can see what is happening in Abia. That's what he's saying. So why can't he speak about it? He said, Governor, continue to do well. Our ancestors in Abia are with you, and I want to believe that you are on constant touch with them for guidance. Every Abian is happy with you, no matter the political position or the political party they are in. That's why I said that if you get to other state now, politics have gone beyond party lines, and just basically about governance to give the people the benefits of democracy. That is the dividends of democracy. What is your take on all that is going on around us, in the political world on this particular edition of Political Assembly on Airborne at the 103.5 FM? The numbers you call and then you become part of the conversation remains 081 38 39 7740 or 081 39 256742 or 08065796599. Let's hear from you right about now. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Keki men ụtụtụ a.
Adị m na enweghị mmadụ bụ ọgụ esi malite n'aka.
Gaba n'iru sa o.
Ndị nwoke nke dịbụrụ bifo na the governor of North a na-esi against the Middle Land Garden.
No, like onye na-ekwu si na ha dị scared.
Ha dị scared na ha dị egwu na afụfa. Yeah, that is true. Eziokwu na family ekere. Ọ na-ede a na individual akịrị. Individualism ka ndị Igbo si na ọgaranya ụkwụ onye bụ akụkụ ka ọ bụ okwu ndị.
Hello.
After ihe family mere ka mana ihe ọra dị mere ka ọ rapụ ịbụkwa olu a dịka onye ije ka arụ dịka arụ echi. And the crocodile here always appear in anything. So ha ga-apụ gọvanọ after ha gbasa mana ha emegwuru ha na-adị individual ọwa ọkụrụ. Then in terms of Abia State, Etugo Abia may be a Jerusalem in Nigeria, may be a Nazareth in Amigo. Because I'm a man of honor and dignity from Abia State, that Abia State. So when we're something exceptional, that Abia State. So see where envy and jealous they are alcohol. Only the good are the good. What a senator is a senator, and what a criminal is a criminal. So all of us the governor ọ bụla ọ chịrị ọrụ ọ bụrụ ihe pati ejigo ihe pati a wee jụọ ya erite mọch ejigo wee maa mere things so onye dị
while we go, but please call us back on 081 38 39 7740 or 081 39 25 6742 or 080 65 79 6599. Let's hear from you now. What do you have to say about all of this? Hello. Yes, good morning, my brother. Going to Pono o Gabaniru. Gabaniru. Yes, I'm man in you. Mm. Eh, okay. Okay. Iye dị na ya. Hello. Hello. Ịma na mgbe ijụbụla ajụjụ at a time, onwe like at a time ihe anyị na-ekwu ọ bụla egwu na onye na-ekwu nkwu na-egwu yotago because ịnekwa anya fụ na Governor of Anambra State make moves towards this to see na release Nnamdi Kanu to him otu nyanwa si wee make the move. So some days some people dey make statements but at a time father balance the statement iji wee gosi na yes na enwekwa ndị na-put efforts at the end of the day. Mm. 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 Okay. Now, ihe achọrọ m ka ị venture into nke gbasara Abia State too. You bụrụ onye Abia State too, you know, otu a Wabara si wee na-ekwupụ about ihe LXOT na-eme, otu o si alụ ọrụ and all of that, PDP na-achụ ya na Abia State. Kedu your take on that? Ọ na o kwesịrị ikwu ka kedu ife ịfụ na ya? Okay. Mm. 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 No problem. Mm. So, well, Dalo, my brother, kind of, but oh, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Dalo, my brother, keep the calls coming.